Alright, it's time for some more Overshadowed, Overpowered. Make sure you leave likes, video, share, support, subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't already. Yes, Patreon for live reactions over there. And hey, if you also hype the video on the YouTube mobile app, it does help push it to even more people. But let's jump into it, see what they got in store for us this week. Oh shit, she might beat us. Hold up now. That teleport and then flamethrower combo is pretty nasty. Yo, this bro's like, I don't know, should I have stopped this child abuse? I don't know. You know, I gotta admit, that's putting in some work to cover up. In theory, you think she could multicast? Think about it. Just think about it for a brief moment. She's about to release her ult on him. The students in the background are like, what the fuck? Is she about to kill this kid? Like, what the fuck are we dealing with? I am interested if he'd ever change his opinion and do more, because clearly she gonna want to take a ride on his pogo stick. But will this be like Old Country Bumpkin, where he just sees her as a student? Yo, that's what I'm talking about, bruh. You know, it's funny. Someone tried saying that those were real nipple piercings, and it just was going through the outfit. I was like, there's no way you actually think those were nipple piercings. Like, they're clearly completely different. Oh, fuck. Blasted her so hard her nipple rings came undone. That's crazy. This poor son of a bitch, bro. Oh, my school. Yo, he's doing it in public is wild. What do you think the purpose of those flaps are for? Like, is it just because she wants someone to pull her clothes sometimes? Look at his eye level. He ain't even doing... Look at her eye level. Not a gentleman is a gentleman. I respect it. I mean, when in Rome, I suppose, right? When in Rome. So I have great news, everyone. I am indeed getting adopted. Merlin has accepted. Sorry, Mom. I just need new things. Here's the thing about this episode, though. Legitimately one of the best fight scenes I've seen this season. But also the dynamic that they ended up handling with our boy and Merlin. I actually really like it. You know, some people are like, oh my god, why would he, you know, want to keep this a secret? She can make his life so much easier. And I kind of looked at it. I thought about it over the past week. I was like, it kind of makes sense to me. Because, like, he is really just trying to, like, chill and, like, just do his thing. And having to be reconnected from someone from the past who's had 400 years to technically move on, even if she does miss you. You know, it's just easy to be like, okay, if I have to say something, I'll say this. But once the cat's out of the bag and she's like, nah, bro, the only one who could have used that level 10 spell is my master. He's like, you got me. And obviously it's going to work out well for him. Now she's going to essentially adopt us on paper for both of them. Get us into her school. We can learn our magic, do our thing. And yeah, it'll be nice. But I actually like the fact that he tried to hide it and then immediately got called out within an episode. You don't really see that too often. And honestly, it was a fun turn of events I wasn't expecting. Now, I will say, her ultimate trump card was cool. So she initially starting off with like Thor's hammer, which I thought was a pretty cool spell. But bro was like, that's your ultimate? Like, that's pretty lame. Apparently, she can use this magic on any limb. Now, of course, in my head, I'm like, dude, do the ramparts count? You know, do you think we could do Thor's hammer with each of these? Probably not, but a man could dream. Being able to cast 4 level 8 spells simultaneously is a pretty impressive feat. And, you know, probably she's the only one who can do it in this world, outside of Eftal, if you really wanted to try, right? So it was a pretty cool concept, and to be honest, I thought the direction we were heading was that she was going to win this fight, mainly because he wasn't going to want to expose himself as obviously, because a level 10 spell is like, she's probably going to realize that's me. So the fact that I thought we were building into him losing because he was just going to let himself lose, she would continue to believe that, okay, he's definitely the descendant of my former master, look at what he did, and that's how this dynamic was going to go. I can safely say, handling it the way they did is much more interesting and satisfying. By giving us the initial misunderstanding, you kind of have that, a little slight twist on the trope and cliche, but they handle it in an intelligent enough way that if anyone unironically looks at this show as just being like some reincarnation fantasy slop of the season, I think you're definitely doing this show a disservice. Because it's pretty competently produced. Like the initial 3D, like when they did the overhead shot going through the crowd, was a little mid. But in general, the fight was legitimately one of the best fights I've seen, both in terms of choreography, but also production so far this season. I'm not saying it was the overall best, but you'd be kidding yourself to say this was mediocre. But honestly, the way they're handling the dynamics and the misunderstandings is a lot more tightly structured than I'm used to, and I quite enjoy this one. Like, you legitimately get a sense of power from these. Like, when they're saying level 8 or level 10 spells, I actually believe it. And it's so interesting too because they tie up these loose ends that I normally don't see tied up because they just accept it as it probably was fine. And it's this spell in particular that I'm talking about. So he unleashes like his level 10 ultimate spell. If you were to show that screenshot and tell people that there's, you know, thousands of people or hundreds of people in the crowd, they're going to be like, oh shit, did they get zapped too? And they actually justify why no one got hurt by this. Not only just Merlin, but also the crowd, because he cancels the spell and he forces it all back into the air. I don't remember the last time I've seen a show, especially a show like this, justify why people didn't get hurt in the crossfire when there's no magical barriers protecting. Because often that's what I see these shows do. There's a magical barrier protecting them from being attacked or something like that. No, he just did that himself. And I thought that was such a little detail, but it was actually a detail that really made me respect what happened. Now, I will say it's actually kind of diabolical to imagine that he was out here giving head pats to the busty legendary mage in front of an entire audience. Now, they didn't hear any of the conversation, I'm sure. I don't think they had magical speakers that allowed them to hear what was going on. So the conversation that happened, I'm pretty sure no one knows about other than our central three. But still, the concept of being like, you know, there was a, like, over the course of the fight, I thought to myself, okay, she's definitely going to believe that he is just a descendant, because she's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm starting to, because she pretty much says, like, out loud, like, oh yeah, the only one who'd be able to do that is someone who comes from his family bloodline. But at a certain point, things are too similar, and I like the fact that we used the moment, it was in episode 1 prior, like, I think it was the same day or the day before he died, he ends up using that level 10 spell to save her in the forest when she runs away. So of course she's gonna be like, nah, bro, like that's pushing it at this point. I'm just so used to these shows trying to keep the misunderstanding going, and I'm honestly not that bothered by the misunderstandings because usually it's directed in a humorous way. But by respecting not only Merlin's intelligence, but also the viewer, it just opens up new possibilities you wouldn't normally see in a show like this. Add in the competent production value, and yeah, there's a lot of fan service. I mean, am I gonna be complaining about it? Hell nah. I just think in general it was a very, very fun episode. And I like that they're already having some humor between the three of them. She getting a little jealous, her being like, why you got a slave? He's like, bruh, it's been a long day, don't ask me. I thought this was a really, really great episode, personally. Easily my favorite. It was the most fun. And I like the fact that the magic system is remaining to be thoroughly enjoyable. Because in episode 1, I thought the concept of magic was actually pretty well explored. But now that we're getting deeper into this, I'm very interested how her school's going to look and function. And, you know, obviously the dagger eyes that will probably be thrown his way as he gets to eat lunch in private with the hot mistress. Either way, Mama, I'm coming home. You let me know your thoughts and feelings on this week's episode. How do you feel about me getting adopted? I'm very happy myself. Anyway, thoughts down below. Leave a like, share, support, subscribe, ring that bell, and yes, Patreon. Full live reactions do live over there, and other exclusives, because you know I also got to give those video shows too, because my patrons are what make this YouTube channel possible. Alright, so today we got Chris, Galakron, Meister, Kieran Dean, Humanoid, Shadow, Armana, Joanne, and we also have Devil, May Carter. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.